Right. Yeah. So, I mean, so we're these infinite beings, and we have all these different layers to who and what we are. And I distinguish infinite divine being as different than the soul. So the soul is infinite in that it's eternal, but the soul is spot existent. It only appears in one place at one time. And for it, the journey of the soul through different lifetimes is within time. So it experiences a past, present, and future because it's locked to Maya and the cosmic creation. And that has time. So that level of your being could have an experience of not wanting to be reincarnated as a human. But every incarnation has your infinite divine being's permission, choice, or it wouldn't happen. So infinite divine beings are infinite in every way, just as the infinite divine is infinite. That aspect of us that is similar to that, is infinite and is outside of the soul progression through different incarnations. And so, like, some people talk about young souls versus old souls. Well, to me, that's just a metaphor. All souls are eternal. So there's really no soul is younger than another soul. No soul ever did not exist at one point and then was born and started existing at another point. That doesn't calculate in my experience. Also, the Hindu scriptures completely affirm that over and over and over again in many different ways and places. Maya, souls, and God are all equally eternal. God did not create souls. Souls always existed. God always existed. The material cosmic realm always existed. But as infinite divine beings that always existed, we can choose to come into human incarnations where we gain wisdom, experience. And the more we do that, the older we become as a soul, because it's the soul undergoing that process. But there are infinite divine beings that are like, I'm going to take a couple hundred millennia off and not incarnate again. And so some other soul might have 10,000 lifetimes in that time that this soul took off. So it's not growing as rapidly. It's not as old in wisdom and experience as the one that's constantly coming into the playground, the school of Earth and other planets like Earth. So, yeah, from some point of view, if you bring your level of identity down low enough, there can be the you that doesn't want to be incarnated but is here. It's like souls that are pretty new and young, and they're maybe still going through animal incarnations, which are very different than human incarnations, because humans are the only one that can create new karma. Animals can't create new karma. They don't have choice that allows them to create either good or bad karma. They are living out karma and or just having experiences. But humans can create good karma, create bad karma, or transcend karma. And even celestial beings, these heavenly gods and goddesses, that are in heavenly like realms, they cannot create karma. They can only pay off karma, either good karma if they're in a celestial realm or bad karma if they're in a hellish realm. So they even long for the time they can come back and have a human incarnation where they again can actually make progress. So if somebody's just like freshly out of many animal incarnations and back into human incarnations, those first couple of human incarnations might be propelled into being by karma instead of primarily by choice. Now, the infinite divine being always is saying yes, but from the level of the soul, it might be, well, I don't really want to do this, but this karma that I'm carrying is forcing me to. And therefore, the soul can have an experience. I don't want to do this right now. I would much rather just sleep for another 1,000,000 years or hang out in the spiritual realm where it might be blissful, but there's no growth. There's no change. There's no getting closer to the divine beloved, which is ultimately why we come into human incarnations. Only as a human can you become fully God realized and experience God as the beloved, as a equal, that you can have intimate, playful, loving experiences with. That's one of the, okay, that's maybe too far afield to go that deep into Hinduism, but in Hinduism, there's many stories of gods and goddesses pleading to be able to have a human incarnation, to have Krishna's divine love darshan, to have the vision of Krishna, the most powerful deity, as a baby child. And when Krishna descended like that, it's called Yogamaya. You know, we talk about we have to veil our infinite divine being to have these experiences as weak, separate human beings. Well, gods and goddesses have to do that in order to descend here. And so when Krishna was yelling because of a wet diaper or whatever, or because he was hungry, he really felt longing and desire and wanted his mother's comfort. In that moment, he was not having an experience as a god, he was having it as a baby, and the other gods and goddesses wanted to be here to experience that. It was just so charming to them, so utterly incomprehensible to them. And that's the opportunity we have as humans already. We can come to this realization and interaction with God only through these human incarnations, only by limiting ourselves into this dense, polarized world and experiencing what that allows us to experience, which is this is how God becomes more God. This is how love becomes more love. This is how light becomes more creative, more expressive, more everything. So that's my answer at this moment too. Not wanting to incarnate, yes and no. It's as usual, it's a paradox. Let's go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone, new and old. Really appreciate you all being here. Yeah, let's just open it and see what happens. Okay. This is a transmission of divine love consciousness, It's for your highest good and the highest good of all. As I track the transmission and put into words some of what I'm observing and experiencing, you are invited to just relax, let go, follow along, experience what you experience, notice what you notice. Allow the transmission to guide you, to carry you, to pull you towards your own God realization. The full freedom that allows you to transcend karma, transcend coming back in human incarnations unless you choose to fully out of service. So right here at the beginning, before the transmission has done much to help lift you, just notice what you notice right now. Notice what feelings are present or sensations or any thoughts. Notice when you are right now. Are there thoughts about something that happened earlier today or yesterday? Are you projecting excitement or fear into the future and thinking about what you're going to have for a meal later or completing some business? Are you just simply present here now? So the first thing the transmission's doing is we are pulling you even more into the now, helping you to let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of the surface noise in your system that's almost always related to past and future. And see how much you can just settle into this moment, meditating here, aware now. We're just giving you some space to notice where do you go? Where is your attention just naturally being pulled? It could be towards something that feels good. Could be towards something that feels bad. Could just be settled in a neutral space. And now we're inviting you to kind of back up a little as in, like, expand your awareness to a larger perspective and just notice all the possible things within your experience that you could focus on. And I'm going to use myself as an example. So I notice the way my feet are against the rung of my chair. It's not necessarily comfortable or uncomfortable. It's just a pressure against the feet. I'm aware of a persistent pain I've had in my side for 30 years. It's just kind of always there. I'm aware of the space of the room around me, that open, spacious quality of just the beingness that's all around me. And as I help clear your systems and my hands make movements and I track the energies as they're shifting, I notice that can be part of my focus. There are some sounds in the distance I can be aware of. But the background is complete silence. The silence that's always there in the background. I can also be aware of that. So track this for yourself. Just notice what you notice. All the various things you can focus on, be aware of in your experience right now. And then allow yourself to notice which of these feels best. If I were to allow myself to focus a little bit more on whatever feels best from this whole spectrum, what would that be like? Like for me, what feels best is that, like, it's a sense of neutrality that kind of goes along with that spaciousness and silence that's all around me. So I'm just allowing that to come more into the foreground of my awareness. And I notice everything else is still there, but they're more in the background. And now I'm noticing there's some bliss around my heart chakra. And that feels like where I want to put my attention. What feels good, what feels best right now. So I allowed that to just come more into the foreground just by being even more aware of it. And I notice my body relaxes more. So it's good for you to know that each and every moment we have this option available to us to become aware of what we're experiencing, to become aware of the full spectrum of what's arising within our consciousness, and then to choose to lean into that which feels best. And then notice what that does for you. Notice what happens. Yeah, this highlighting this mechanism, this ability. Yeah, we're highlighting this within your system to help it clarify, to help you get it, get the sense of this even more tangibly. Yeah, and as we highlight this mechanism, the ego's mechanism that kind of matches this but takes it in the opposite direction is coming into, well, coming more into consciousness. So let's just highlight that. Let's welcome that so you can have more consciousness. Like the ego's conditioning leads it to look for what feels worst, what feels bad. Let's go there. Let's focus there. Let's go handle that. Let's go take care of that. Let's go try and fix that. So it by its default nature, it's always going to look for what feels worse and try to pull your full attention there. And you might notice that doesn't feel very good. And what doesn't feel very good might not actually be very good for you. So just noticing that. Yeah, would you be willing to let go of using the ego in that old, low vibrational, fear based way and allow yourself to continue to explore this higher vibrational way that includes being more and more aware of what feels good, what is good for you. Letting that come into the foreground, letting that pull your attention forward. Into your highest path. Like you might even notice that just this intention to let go of the ego's way of doing it feels good. Your system likes that shift away from the fear-based ego mechanism that always pulls you towards what feels worse, what feels bad. Clear, 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 clear. We're just going to more actively clear some of these components out of your system. They don't match the vibration you are continuing to rise into. Because they're simply not required. When you are living and flowing from your highest truth, your highest good, and you're trusting that to lead you, and you're leaning into it more and more consciously, moment by moment, it's just a better way to live. Everything gets handled more easily, more quickly, more enjoyably. So, in this moment, would you be willing to just allow yourself to notice what's the best feeling within me right now? And let's say you were in a lot of pain. Well, the best feeling might be where there's just a little less pain, or might be a place that you're aware of that's feeling completely neutral or has no feeling whatsoever. So you would allow your attention to go there and be a little looser on whatever the pain was. So it's a spectrum we're talking about here. It's whatever feels at least a little bit better, go in that direction. Go there. And sometimes it'll feel a lot better. Then, yes, really go there. See how much you can let yourself trust your own bliss, your inner GPS that's always wanting to show you the path to bliss, or at least to feeling better. Okay, we're amplifying that, especially in your heart chakra. That's where this GPS, goodness, yeah, this goodness seeking system allows you to track what feels good and to trust that, to lean into that. Okay, a lot of you have limiters on that are coming to the surface. As we activate this and bring it to a higher, clearer vibration, okay, there's more parts of you coming to the surface that either don't trust this or have been conditioned to believe you can't. Yeah, like this won't work. This won't work. If I go there, danger, danger, danger. Yeah, there's, okay, clear, 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 clear. If I trust what feels good, it's dangerous, it's selfish, it's of the devil. Interesting. Clear, 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 clear. So some of these are, of course, from the greater collective consciousness, but to the degree that they're also in your unconscious. Clear, 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 clear. I can't trust what feels good. I can't trust what feels good. I can't trust what feels good. Okay, just bringing more awareness to that identification. I can't trust this because it feels good. So these are attached to memories where you made an association in the past that you trusted something that felt good and then you got shut down. So you associated trusting and following what feels good will only lead to me getting hurt, abandoned, hurt, hurt and abandoned, hurt, cut off, cut off, cut off, clear, 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 clear. Yeah, what if that's not true? What if that was a false association? Would you be willing to allow your system to explore the reality, the truth that's available to you here now regarding following what feels good? Would you be willing to cancel and dissolve any and all vows and contracts of self-abnegation, of denying the self pleasures, denying the self's goodness, like especially for religious purposes, um, yeah, anti-hedonistic vows, contracts, agreements. What if none of those are needed now? What if none of those are useful now? What if all of those simply mislead you in the wrong direction now? Would you be willing to let them all go, break them all now, in this lifetime and in all other lifetimes and beyond, so you can have your own direct experience here and now of exploring what it's like to notice the best feelings within, and allow those to come more to the foreground, more into focus. And to draw you forward into the highest states of being and doing and loving and fulfilling your purpose. Okay, great. You're all taking that in, allowing that to transform your systems. Clear, clear, clear. Yeah, this is moved up to clearing the throat chakra. You're like, as you begin doing this more and more, especially centered in the heart chakra, it naturally changes your expression in the world, which is the fourth chakra. So that your fourth chakra is reorganizing, recalibrating to this higher vibration, this more refined commitment to know, be aware of, know, trust, and follow that which feels good, because that which feels good is your highest good. And that which is your highest good truly is the highest good of all. It's in alignment. Yeah, feel that. That's coming in. It's high information showing you your highest good and the highest good of all are one and the same. Always. Only always. So would you be willing to let go of all that old conditioning that was ego-based, fear-based, lack and limitation-based regarding selfishness, and your highest good? Like, if you followed the good feelings, you were being selfish. Yeah, just allow that. Yeah, would you be willing to allow yourself to see right through that misunderstanding? It might have been true to some degree at one time, at one level of consciousness. We're inviting you to notice what's true for you here now at the level of consciousness you have reached now. And how the rules are a bit different here. And the flow, the natural flow that wants to carry you, flows a little differently at this height of consciousness. This divine love consciousness that wants to carry you, inspire you, guide you, help you know true and total fulfillment by always nudging you to your highest good and noticing that is what feels good, truly feels good within you. Okay, there's many, many angels that have gathered around us supporting this. The angels are very invested in you really getting this because it makes you so much easier to work with. You can join forces with the angels can join forces with you when you trust your good feelings, because that's how they communicate with you. Yeah, so the more you trust your good feelings, the more you are also open to the spirit guides leading you, the guardian angels and other angels leading you. Okay, expanding out further now. Your system continuing to open now to this greater flow of goodness, of what feels good. Okay, and then we're going to show you another aspect of this. So often, like right now for some of you, as you focus on what feels good and the flow increases, you become more open, more radiant, more flowing, more bathed in light and love. And what does that end up doing? It often will bring up bad feelings that have been stuck in your unconscious, in your energy system. And that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So just be aware that as you focus on what feels good and you let that grow under your attention, because generally whatever you observe grows, that can allow old, buried, yucky feelings to begin to come to the surface. So if you start to feel that and you allow your ego to kick in and say, oh, see, it's not working. I'm feeling like crap now. Well, you missed the boat. Would you allow yourself to be aware of that tendency and let it just pass through and open to the reality that it's only if you get attached that it becomes problematic. So let's say you got into a mode of bliss and you were just observing that bliss and it was continuing to expand. And then that bliss started to bring up some feeling of depression from maybe earlier in this life or from another life, or just part of what you're here to help clear from the collective unconscious. So this depression's coming up, and you can feel all the parts of you that have been holding it down and are a little scared having it come up, and it's maybe trying to repress it, and that feels a bit uncomfortable. So it's still the power of your awareness that resolves this. You just allow yourself to become aware of whatever's arising, and you welcome it, knowing that it's just like a little child that fell and skinned his or her knee and runs to mommy or daddy for a hug and a kiss and maybe a quick cry, and then runs away and plays again. Like, that's all these old emotions want. They just want to be noticed, acknowledged, maybe even kissed with some love, so they can complete themselves and then just go away forever. Leave the system for good. And as you do that, you notice that feels good. You notice the opening that creates, that allows more light and love, more consciousness. That more of your system is awake and conscious and free of those low vibrational feelings. So that feels good. It's only if you get attached to what's coming up and you think, oh, I'm feeling depression. I must be depressed now. It must be something in my life now that's going wrong. I wonder what that is. And that's the attachment. That's allowing the egoic mind to try and figure it out, to bring it into the future and project it as, well, if we don't handle this now, it's going to get a lot worse, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Instead, just welcome it. It has nothing to do with now, except that it's ready to come out now. Okay, so we are going to amplify all of this even more throughout your system and give you the space of silence to just play with it on your own for a few moments. Just notice the whole spectrum of whatever's there. Notice what feels good. Allow yourself to follow that, to become a little more interested in that. And if something new arises, allow your good feelings to show you what to do. It's good for you to remember that among all the possible things you may observe within, you can notice which one feels best. Put just a little more attention there. Notice where that leads you. Now let's just refine this even a bit more. So as you're noticing what's arising within, you might have an experience where it appears the system doesn't want to cooperate with you. This is actually just the ego being very sly. But one example of this would be you're noticing what's arising and you just feel a bit bored by it all. There's nothing that feels better right now. Everything just feels kind of boring. So, of course, you can just welcome that. Even just welcoming that, noticing, oh, it all feels boring. Okay, that's welcoming this is perhaps what feels best right now. Just, okay, this is my present experience, and it doesn't want to show me anything else. So I'm welcoming that. And in that welcoming, you might experience a depth open up. Like more of your inner space is suddenly revealed. And now there are other sensations, feelings, thoughts, experiences to evaluate which one of these now feels good or a bit better than the others. So it's good for you to know that no matter what's arising, when you welcome it, eventually there will always be some differentiation that you will be able to observe that allows you to move into a slightly better feeling or felt sense. So you're hearing this intellectually right now, and we are showing it to your system. Would you be willing to continue to explore this on your own so you have your own direct experience that this actually works all the time, no matter what? It's also good for you to know that your inner experience is changing every second. So if you open up to notice what you're aware of within, and perhaps you get that, oh, nothing really, it's kind of boring. Well, just wait a second, and it's now different. You can ask again. And for some of you, these smaller differences might take a little practice to begin to notice them. If you've been highly indoctrinated into the belief nothing good ever happens to me, nothing's changing for the good, like if you've practiced that for a really long time, you might have to practice this for a few extra minutes to get to where you begin to notice the more subtle changes. And the more you notice a subtle change, the bigger those changes become. And then the more you notice and appreciate those bigger changes, the bigger, even bigger changes come. Because we always get more of whatever we focus on. If we focus on nothing's ever changing, we shut ourselves down. We shut our ability to experience down. And that's our divine creativity that's getting shut down. We are turning off our divinity and going purely back into our humanity. And that's a perfectly good choice if that's actually what you want to be doing. Yeah, but I don't see any of you actually wanting to do that. So, would you be willing to allow yourself to notice even the smallest, most subtle, good feelings or better feelings than other feelings? And as you notice that, you are telling the universe, give me more better feelings. Because I'm going to be aware of those and enjoy those. And by being aware of them and enjoying them, you're telling the universe, yeah, give me even more of these. Like, this is the part of the law of attraction that they get right. The more you can lean into your good feelings, the more those good feelings can grow. And as we said earlier, the more your good feelings grow, often that will bring old bad feelings to the surface. But you can just open to the good feeling that it is to welcome those to complete themselves, to come get their hug and kiss from you so they can run off happily. Okay. Okay. So the one final lesson here that we're going to share, it only takes a second to do this in your everyday life. I mean, ultimately, you want to get to where you're navigating every moment, day and night, by leaning into what feels good and allowing that to be amplified and expanded within you and all around you. But even in the midst of a busy day, when your mind is on other things, would you be willing to allow yourself to just every now and then take a moment and say, what feels good here now? Among everything I'm experiencing, can I allow myself to know what feels good in this? And you notice it, and then you could just go on with your day. And even if you make that tiny course correction several times throughout the day, you're going to notice a big difference by the end of your day. And as I said, the more you do it, the more you stay conscious of it till it becomes just a continuous momentum that carries you. Yeah, then it actually is your true nature. you become aligned with your true nature that's always just noticing what's light, loving, good, and you're always just moving into that. What's the most loving here? What's the most good? And those are the same thing. Whatever's the brightest, most loving, most good, most enjoyable, they're actually always the same thing. All divine qualities are one. Would you be willing to allow them to lead you moment to moment into your greatest good and the greatest good of all? Okay, this is now activated in your system. Your central energy core has this information running up and down it now as a reference point, reference guide. That will help you even more clearly to notice what feels good and to sink into that, to follow that, to let that lead you into what feels even more good. Yeah, so just take a moment. Notice where you are, who you are, the earth below you. Notice what feels good right now as we bring this transmission to a conclusion. This session is complete. Enjoy your journey into noticing what feels good. Infinite blessings.